traffic. Bypass, one-way, two-way, bike lanes, all that stuff. I think I'm just going to open it up and let you talk about what you see is your nightmare of traffic, if it's a nightmare, or if it's really an opportunity. And I was on the bypass committee in 1981 to go around Sebastopol when we first moved up here, and they proposed going up Lano Road and around that way. It meant condemning 5 houses, and nobody could do that. They didn't want to use eminent domain. So anyway, it's an open question about traffic. Jonathan?
Well, timed lights would be a great way to start. I like the idea of an electric jitney that brings people in and out of town, like an open electric car, like the one I saw at Jack London State Park. It fits about 12 or 15 people, and we run that around to reduce traffic. I really like having protected bike lanes, bike trails. East-west would be a wonderful thing to have. I have a 9 and a 12-year-old. I just don't feel safe with the idea of them taking, a bicycle into the streets where they have to make certain crossings and be in the streets. So I think we could do more in that regard. And again, I think that we really need to look at development and events by a tax revenue per car quotient, to really analyze that and say, what are we developing and how is it going to impact traffic? I think that is everybody's prime concern, and it should be our primary analytical tool that we use in assessing new development.
Thank you, Jonathan. Lisa?
So, we are on 2 state highways, so we have always been on 2 state highways, and I was involved with the Downtown Association when we did the downtown plan, and we used to have one-way traffic and a choo-choo train go down through town, and then we went two-way traffic to one-way traffic, and now everybody's talking about going back to two-way traffic. A bypass, sounds great, but same thing, I've been hearing that for a long time, and I'm just not sure we're going to be able to get state money, frankly, to bypass when all the state money is going to the 101 corridor. So I do think the current council, though, they're working on bike lanes, and they're also, we were just there last night looking at the 8 intersections being studied, trying to figure out how to slow down traffic. So it's a huge concern. It's going to be a hot topic for years to come, and we are working on it, trying to come up with the best plan to get things to slow down in town. So don't have all the answers.
No, I'm Michael.
Okay, so this is my issue. This is what I'm committed to. This, again, I want to report to a report from Caltrans. This is September 30th, 2015, and I'm quoting again. It says, for the livability and vitality of Sebastopol, they are recommending eastern bypass. They're not specific about where it will go. We have 2 state highways that cross in our town. We qualify for special funding. They haven't identified any funding, but they have said that there is not a connection between the state, the county, and the city. So the first thing I would do was make that connection and start talking about this in conjunction with improving the downtown quality of life by redoing the Sebastopol downtown plan. The general plan under circulation, action item under circulation 1B says to coordinate with the County of Sonoma and Caltrans to determine feasible alternate routes for Highway 116. So this is a directive to me by the general plan, if I'm elected, to make this happen.
Thank you, Jonathan.
So I'm going to solve traffic in under a minute, no problem. Building relationships and maintaining relationships with the county is part of the solution, and encouraging the bright minds of Sebastopol, business owners, individuals, residents, visitors, to let us know, what can we do better. Simple things are within our grasp. There's a concept of putting a sign out there at Fulton that says Russian River, that way. So if folks are really just coming through to go to the Russian River, they can go around. Sebastopol's a destination. When you come here, don't expect to drive through fast. I'm not going to help you do it. I'm going to slow down traffic so people can feel safe. They can walk, they can bike. The council meeting last night was great. What they're looking at on Bodega, to have the median strips and the bike lanes, it's gonna slow down traffic and make it safer. They're looking at Willow and Jewel by Ives Park, which is kind of an entrance since so many people park on that side, making enhancements and safety improvements there. We need to implement more of what we've been doing. Street Smart Sebastopol works. The crosswalk improvements at the post office, it works. The Joe Verdoda Trail, this is better. These are the things that we need to do more of, and I will work towards that.
Thank you, Craig. I was at the planning commission meeting the other night for the hotel, and an interesting thing came up, and I think it's a really positive thing. So I'll take a minute and digress. We've been working on bike lanes on Petaluma Avenue and Main Street for quite a while. I think there's a budget, or there's a plan to spend $800,000 to do the bike lanes down those two streets. And I think it was about a month ago, Caltrans came over and said, well, you know, we're gonna be repaving, you know, Petaluma, and we could restripe it at that point in time. If you would just put in about $60,000 worth of handicap access at a couple intersections. So it looks like the city is gonna get a trade of about $60,000 worth of handicap ramps for $800,000. Stop me. I just wanted to relay a good story. You know, it's kind of an interesting clue.
Where will those go, Craig?
I'm not sure. I think it's on Petaluma Avenue, and there's like 3 or 4 of them that have to be done. And so Caltrans says, you do that, we'll do this. Pretty good. Now, if we can get some more of that, Caltrans has been a big block, you know, to anything we try and do because we're on state highways. So, okay.